I'm still in Ireland. Yeah. So that's looks to be for another little while still. I don't think I'll be going anywhere for a little while. But just like Nikki was saying, we've been under quite strict lockdown here for quite some time, and we're just starting to come out. We're a little bit behind the UK. We're not quite as sort of open as the UK is, so I'm still waiting for those hairdressers to open.
Whereabouts in Ireland are you, Delia?
We're right across on the west coast, so right next to the Atlantic Ocean, about 3 hours from Dublin. If you drive straight out of Dublin, we're about 3 hours. Right. So it's lovely and sunny this morning.
Going more towards Galway, right?
Yeah, we're just a bit north of Galway. So Galway is my nearest sort of big city.
Okay.
But, yeah, we've had a really strict lockdown. I think it was even more strict than the UK since Christmas. So it was only 2 weeks ago we were allowed to go more than 5 kilometers from home.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. So Dolan, are you in Mumbai? Are you still in Calcutta?
Hi, Dylan. No, I'm still in Calcutta.
Mm-hmm.
And Batsal, where are you right now? Gurgaon?
No, actually, I'm in my hometown in Lucknow, in UP. Nice. But our office is, of course, based out of Delhi. But working from home since about November last year from my hometown.
So, which part of Lucknow?
The main city, the main area, close to Hazratganj. Yeah.
Cool, guys. I think we can go live now. Yeah?
Yeah.
Great. Perfect. I think we are live now. So, good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone who has joined us today for this session is doing well and keeping safe considering the unprecedented times that we are in. So today we have gathered here with an elite panel of university representatives and stalwarts of the higher education ecosystem in the UK. And we have a very straightforward format of this panel discussion. So the first hour or 60-70 odd minutes, we'll have a full-fledged panel discussion wherein me being the moderator, I'll be asking few questions to our experts here. Hopefully, you'll be getting the answers to majority of the queries that you have. Then for the next half an hour or 20 odd minutes, we'll open the platform to a live Q&A session. So whatever doubts that you have, you can put in your doubts in the chat box and we will be more than happy to clarify those set of doubts. So without a further ado, I'll give you a brief introduction to the wonderful panelists that we have. So we have Ms. Delia Hannigan, who is the Director of Education at Sanam S4. Then we have Ms. Dolan Mitra, who is the International Recruitment Manager at King's College London. We have Ms. Jaspreet Kaur, who is the Regional Advisor at Queen Mary University London. We have Ms. Donna, who is the Regional Director at the University of Southampton. We have Amit Malhotra, who is the Senior Vice President at Hsbc Bank. We have Mayank Maheshwari, who is the co-founder and COO of University Living, the organization which has organized this panel discussion. And then we have Nikki Furness. So she is the head of international partnerships at Vita Students. So now I think we have set the tone and I can move forward with the panel discussion. So Delia, the first question is for you, like always. So being an industry expert, I think, around a few days back, there has been a really positive news considering the UK and India ties. So what's your thought about the same?
Yeah, I think, it's been news that we've all been waiting for, and it was great to see that we were able to sort of move that forward, even though the Prime Minister couldn't get to visit India as had been planned, but the agreements went ahead. And what we've seen, I think, launched was the Migration and Mobility Partnership. And this is a really important milestone because it sets out the roadmap for collaboration between the UK and India, which we've all been waiting for. And really what it's saying is that, both countries want to work together to allow young professionals and talented people to be able to move freely between our countries and have the opportunity to live and work in each other's countries. So I think we've already got the GIR, the Graduate Immigration Route, which we all know about, which was brought in 18 months ago now and is going to go live on the 1st of July, which will allow young people who've studied in UK universities to stay in the UK and get work experience for between 2 and 3 years. That was a fantastic piece of policy that came through. It's now being joined by another really exciting one, which is the Young Professionals Scheme. And this is the first time that this scheme has been open to visa national countries. So India is, really spearheading this change. Okay. And what that means is that young professionals from both countries, so UK nationals can go to India, Indian nationals can come to the UK, and it's for 2 years they can come and live and work in each other's countries. And that's a really big step. And of course, India is one of the key partners for attracting talented professionals to come and live and contribute in the UK. 43% of visas, the top talent visas, go to Indian nationals. So it's really important that this is another step in that jigsaw of all those opportunities to allow the UK to welcome talented young people to the UK to contribute to economic growth there. So we're very pleased. And I'm particularly pleased that it's going to allow more young people from the UK to go and experience India, because that's an amazing experience. And I'm glad to see it's a two-way street.
Sounds good, Delia. Thank you so much for putting it in such a wonderful manner. So we are glad that whenever we talk about UK as a country, we do come across London quite often, and we are glad that we have 2 premium institutes or colleges from London representing on this panel, both King's College London and Queen Mary University London. So Ms. Dolan, just wanted to understand that KCL is one of the most premier colleges in the UK. So if you want to highlight what are the flagship courses that you have for the undergraduate as well as the postgraduate level.
Well, thanks, Aman. Well, at King's, there are so many courses. I mean, 150 to 200 courses at the undergrad and postgrad level in our 9 faculties. So which one should I talk about? Essentially, all our courses are of high quality and they're sought after. But of course, some courses tend to be a little more popular, don't they? So, courses like, let's say, management or economics, law, medicine, biomedical courses, psychology, computer science, data science. Everybody wants to study data science now. AI, cybersecurity. I can go on. I mean, international relations, political economy, PPE, public health, public policy, and even dentistry now. I mean, of course, whole range of social science courses as well. Now, in terms of, rankings, well, I don't know if you're aware, dentistry at King's is either the best or the second best in the world. Nursing is the second best in the world. And of course, there are loads of top 15 courses, top 15 in the world, like law, English language, literature, history, politics, international studies. And we also have some unique courses, for example, war studies. So we are the only department in the world to have kind of focused courses on war studies to understand conflict, security, and international politics. And we also have something called digital humanities. This is a fabulous area. Very, it's the largest and most prestigious department that we have at King's. Again, these are where we try to understand intellectual possibilities among computing, the humanities, and the social sciences. So these are there. And of course, our courses are also very competitive. we do offer loads of courses. However, I would say, I think the last statistic that I saw, about 67,500 applications have been made to us so far for just UG courses. But the interesting fact is that 50% of all those applications are just for 15 subject areas. So, and within those within that, the top 3 courses which attracted the largest number of applications have been business, law, and biomedical courses. So yeah, so whole range of courses at King's. Thank you.
Great. Good to hear that. So I had a similar question for Ms. Jaspreet, but now that you have highlighted how many courses in under various domains that are prevalent at King's, I'll probably rephrase my question and be slightly more specific to Ms. Jaspreet. So Ms. Jaspreet, if you can possibly throw some light on the finance and the management courses that we have at QMUL and what are the entry requirements for the same?
Right, Aman, thank you so much for having me here today. Sorry, my voice is a little hoarse today, but within just finance and management, there will still be a long range of courses to look out for. What I would say is for our School of Economics and Finance, we are ranked 4th in London as per the Financial Times for a lot of programs, especially our investment and finance program. It has been one of the most career opportunities program as well as per financial careers. You can have range of options, whether you're looking forward for pure finance or you want to do conversion programs, or you're looking forward for combination of programs, whether you want to do now, which is very important, is like finance and machine learning, which is becoming a very fintech oriented thing as well. So we are looking at already in the pipeline to launch this within the September, if not this year, then next year for sure. It's already been approved by our board. There is lots of options, especially when you're looking at analytics arena, whether you're looking at financial analytics or you're looking at business analytics. Course-wise, if I start listing down all the programs, that will be too much. But entry requirement-wise, I think the major one, it would vary on different factors because every program has different requirement with regard to the kind of mathematical or financial aptitude that the student needs to have. But the basic one I would say is, if you're looking for more finance or economics related programs, you do need more mathematical aptitude. Whereas if you're looking for business related programs, anybody can apply for it. And the major entry requirement for the same will be a first class degree from their respective universities from India specifically. And obviously, English language is a requirement for all aspects.
Ms. Jaspreet, just wanted to ask that, obviously, the location of the college matters a lot. It does in India as well, right? So do you think having majority of your campuses in central London do give an added advantage to the students?
Well, it works both ways, honestly. We are not exactly in central London. We are in the central East London area. But yes, your close proximity to where your hub of organizations are, that really helps you, because that will not only help the university, to kind of get you having those faculty members or visiting faculty members, but also for the students to approach these places for their part-time, their internships, summer internships, if there are any. Career events becomes much more easier in a lot of aspects. Having said that, it's something like a student, which students need to kind of think about. It's got both pros and cons about it. So you should definitely weigh that. I would say Queen Mary, we are very lucky because we are, I won't say right in the center where it is the most expensive one, but we're not outskirts as well. So we have best of both the worlds for us. So, Canary Wharf, which is the financial district of London, is hardly 20 to 25 minutes walking distance from Queen Mary. And the old business district, which is the center of London, is about 30-35 minutes by tube towards there. So it works both ways for us, for sure. So yeah, it's an opportunity that students can definitely look out for.
Certainly. Vatsal, next question is for you. So obviously, representing a university comes with a lot of responsibilities as well. So would like to understand from you that when it comes down to the University of Essex, first, what are the flagship courses that you are offering? And secondly, would like to understand that, considering the present situation, has there been any change in the entry requirements or the documentation that is, needed in order to get an acceptance to the university?
Right. Thank you, Aman. And I was just actually looking at the questions. It's great to have so many attendees and active attendees on the panel. So to answer your first part of the question, in terms of flagship courses, like all my colleagues over here, Essex also offers a range of courses starting from acting and hotel management to really top-notch courses in social sciences and history and psychology, economics, business, etc. But one key point that I would like to probably focus on is how we've been able to adapt, keeping in mind the current situation, and launch courses, or at least change or mutate our current courses as per what would be the demand in a post-COVID world. So Jasprit very rightly mentioned about data analytics and its importance. At Essex, we have also identified that, and we have moved beyond data science being taught to only students who belong to a tech background. So you will or a student will find courses in areas like financial technology, so blockchain and cryptocurrencies, finance and data analytics, economics and data science, data analytics and health genomics, which is extremely key in a post-COVID world, keeping in mind the health structure across the world. So a lot of different courses and a lot of courses which will be very helpful in a post-COVID era have been identified and launched by Essex, and the current courses, the curriculum has been changed accordingly as well. To answer your second question in terms of policies around COVID, I suppose, what we have done is that as a campus, and this is probably I might take the liberty of speaking for everyone here, because UK as a country has really done well when it comes to being student friendly in a COVID era. When a lot of other nations closed their borders, UK has kept its borders open. I think all of my colleagues there, their universities must be conducting campus testing as well. As per the NHS health scheme, students will be eligible for free campus testing at Essex and also free vaccination once they arrive in October this year. So I think, keeping in sync with the topic of the session today, UK definitely has, taken that extremely proactive step forward in terms of making a very safe environment to all the students all across the world.
Great, good to hear that, Vatsal. And there was this one thing that you mentioned about the vaccination. So I believe, even at this point in time, probably Delia can highlight the same. So even at this point in time, I think more than 52% of the entire UK population has received the first dose. So as it looks, the plans pertaining to vaccinate the entire population looks or seems to be on track at the outset. So Delia, if you want to take that up.
Yeah, definitely. I think the UK has certainly had a massive success story. It's been an amazing operation. The rollout has been very, very well managed, and is as you say, really, got millions and millions of people vaccinated. So the UK is, and that's why we're now being able to start to open up, and why universities will be able to think about returning to face-to-face teaching on the 17th of May. It's all very much linked, but it's still being handled in a way that is all about safety. So it's being monitored, and the government is committed to making sure that the rules are only relaxed when it's safe to do so. International students, as Vatsal said, are eligible for treatment under the NHS, so they will be able to get vaccinations as required as they're rolled out to those age groups, and they will. All universities are doing testing, and the government itself has a big commitment to testing and ensuring that that we have an understanding of what's happening on the ground with the virus. So it's definitely been a great success story and has really, I think, made a difference. But other colleagues who are also living in the UK can probably add a bit more to that, because I know that Donna is there. I'm just across the sea, So although my daughter's in the UK, so I keep a big track of what's happening. I know that Donna will be able to confirm that that rollout has gone really well from the perspective of actually sitting in the UK. Donna, am I right?
Yeah, I mean, I get my second vaccination on Sunday, and I know that they're working their way through. I think they've got through most 40-year-olds, so it's coming into moving down to 30-year-olds, and from my understanding, a lot of universities have a testing program like Essex. Southampton has one as well. So students are before they come, they get regularly tested. When they're on campus, they have to be tested weekly, and staff as well. So yes, it's looking very promising. I agree with Delia.
So Donna, just to add on to that, so currently I believe there's an institutional quarantine specific for, I guess, 10 days for students who are arriving in the UK. So how is that being taken care of?
So there are two options. I mean, at the moment, obviously, India is now on a red list.
Yeah.
So students coming into the country do have to quarantine in hotel quarantine, in a hotel. Now, universities are working with the government to try and adapt this, because all universities have been providing quarantine accommodation on campus since August last year, when students, maybe even before that, when students started to arrive. So we're very qualified and we're very adept at how we manage students coming into the country, and how we support them with food packs and then with testing. So I think that going forward, as this situation develops in India, and hopefully within the next few weeks we see some improvement, it has to reach its peak, but some improvement, then we will see more interaction with the government, and hopefully this won't be something that will continue for a long period of time.
Great, good to know that. So Donna, if you can highlight the various flagship courses that you're offering at the University of Southampton. Yeah,
well, Southampton's in a relationship. It's a bit like Mumbai and Pune.
Yeah,
we are close to massive to London, but we have Pune with the sea. So we're an international port. That's the way I try and explain it to students. So we offer a lot of maritime courses, but we're well known for engineering, so aeronautics, mech, and also for computer science. Again, like everyone, we all have business courses. Probably ours are more on the analytics and the risk side, but I think that we also have a School of Arts as well, and medicine is one of our courses. So we offer a range. 350. I'm not going to list them all, because you'd all fall asleep.
Yeah. So Donna, obviously, I believe you have been really active when it comes down to students, when it comes down to assisting students and handling all their queries. So just wanted to understand that, as Delia earlier mentioned, that because of the graduate route and the PSW, I think it's interchangeably used. So how have you seen the sentiments of students, especially Indian students, changing before, let's say, 2020 and now, when they are, applying to various UK-based universities?
Students, well, I personally think that students have a lot more hope now from India. They feel that they have a bit more, there's a bit more, it's easier in that they have that time, whereas before they had 6 months. Having said that, students, I've had 2 or 3 students that have managed to get jobs. So they've graduated last year, and in that 6 months they've been sponsored. But what I'm seeing is students coming in, maybe starting in September, and they're actually securing jobs in March. I've had a couple that secured jobs in March for October. There is a big demand. If you look at the tech industry, that it's estimated that there's going to be 100,000 new jobs per month in the UK leading up to the summer. 3 million people are employed in the tech industry and in various other things. That the thing that students need to understand is to develop those soft skills. And those are the skills that they develop while they're studying, make the most of all of the the opportunities, the virtual internships, all those little things, and also the career centres, whatever university they go to.
Okay, good to hear that, Donna. So, Ms. Dolan, so the next question is for you. So I believe, whenever we send out email invitations to our attendees, to our prospective attendees, we do mention that, if you have any question that you would like to ask to our, panelists. So few of the attendees did have, some queries pertaining to cyber security courses as well as AI courses that are being offered at KCL. So if you can possibly highlight the same.
Yeah, sure. So, King's, one of the core areas of expertise at King's is, computer science, AI, cybersecurity, data science. We do a lot of work with data. We are doing a lot of work in 5G and 6G as well. So therefore, all these kind of, the researches that are going on, they tend to trickle down to our courses because students learn what is actually happening currently, and they are skilled up so that they can tackle future issues, because this is a very very fluid subject area, right? It's just constantly changing. Where subjects are concerned, well, at the UG level, we do offer 6 courses under computer science. So for example, there is, the regular BSc computer science, and then there's computer science focusing on AI, computer science with management, and then there are additional study abroad or year in industry along with the computer science courses, right? So I think quite a few are interested in possibly AI at the undergrad level. So our computer science in AI, it is again a very sought after course. We are currently ranked 6th in the UK for computer science as per the QS World University rankings, and there are loads of, it's a very dynamic department with students having access to over 250 fast PCs running Windows and Linux in all our state-of-the-art laboratories. Now, this course is also currently accredited by the BCS and ANDASH, the Chartered Institute for IT. So that means that this certifies that our course equips students with the right foundations, and it would help them in their careers in computing or information systems. So I'm not sure whether you want further details on the course. However, the course is designed to cover everything that is indispensable for a first degree in computer science. So, and the students who are looking to work in AI or automation or intelligent control, or even in the more general field of computer science, these courses will be very beneficial. So where I think another subject that you were mentioning, which is in popular demand, would be cybersecurity. So cybersecurity is something that we offer at the postgrad level. And please, I'm not getting into all the computer science courses because at the postgrad level also we have about 6 offerings, including AI, data science, advanced computing, advanced software engineering, and so on. So where cybersecurity is concerned, again, this has been recognized by the Government National Cyber Security Center, the NCSC. It seems it's a very big thing because it certifies, because this particular center kind of certifies programs that meet agreed standards in cybersecurity, and therefore it means that the program is of high quality and has relevance and can boost the employability of graduates.
Okay.
And yeah.
Great. Thank you. Good to hear that, Ms. Dole. So, Ms. Jaspreet, just wanted to ask that what are the various scholarships that are being offered at Queen Mary University at this point in time?
We have a range of scholarships that the students can actually, they don't really need to apply for. They are all merit-based scholarships. From the School of Business to School of Economics and Finance, Faculty of Science and Engineering, and all the students who are merit holders or distinction holders from the respective universities will be considered for the same. So it is an automatic consideration from the school itself. It is not something which the students really need to apply as a specific or a other application process itself.
Okay. Vatsal, if you would like to highlight the scholarships that you offer at Essex.
Quite similar to what it is at QMUL. Range of scholarships available, which are merit-based on the basis of the academics of the student, and they range across all the faculties for which a student might apply at Essex. And for MBA programs, we have a separate amount of scholarships that go up to about 70% of the course, but that is subjected to the interview process as well with our MBA team or the MBA director. Just one thing that I probably would like to highlight that I've been seeing in the comments and in the questions quite repeatedly, because we've answered this before, about whether UK universities will resume face-to-face classes or not. I think I would just like to reiterate that all the universities in the UK are going to prioritize face-to-face classes if possible, like Delia also mentioned. Of course, everything will depend on COVID. If the vaccination goes on smoothly like it is going on right now, and the cases remain under control like they are right now, you can expect universities to start opening up their campuses quite, very soon. Of course, if there is a third wave of COVID that comes our way, then I believe as a species, we have a bigger problem at our hands.
Certainly, I would agree to that. So, Mr. Ahmed, obviously, HSBC Bank doesn't need any introduction. So you do have a wide presence when it comes down. Rather, globally, you have a huge presence. So when it comes down to, the presence that you have in the UK, I think it's quite vast. So if you can possibly throw some light on the same.
Okay, hi. So HSBC is one of the largest banking and financial service institution in the world. We serve millions of customers through our global businesses. Our ambition is always to be the preferred international financial partner to our customers and clients. We are present in 66 countries across the world. HSBC UK, to be precise, the bank has a network of approximately 594 branches throughout England and Wales.
Okay. So I think, when it comes, so we have 4 universities at the panel right now. So is there a possibility that within the premises or within the campuses, there can be an HSBC ATM or any branch, like how it happens in the bigger institutes in India?
I assume we are like SBI in India for UK, so we would be around in every nook and corner of every university. And of course, we have specific students preposition, which basically also gives them a lot of preferential pricing on various products banking in the UK.
Okay. So the reason why I'm asking you this is because we have been speaking about the various scholarships that are being offered by the university, but I believe even you have a big scholarship to offer to the undergraduate students. So if you can run us through the same, that would be really helpful for our audience.
Oh, sure. So HSBC, this is the first time a bank has basically come up with something like that, right? So we are trying to give out a scholarship to international students. Basically, HSBC Overseas Education Program is an initiative that provides a complete ecosystem for helping a child realize his international education dreams. What we're trying to do over here is we're trying to have and assist, students to participate in the scholarship program. These candidates need to satisfy just 3 major eligibility criteria. Candidates should have secured around 75% in their last academic examinations. Students must have applied for the 2021 admissions for an education program in a foreign university. And candidates must be enrolled or have graduated from an Indian high school or equivalent.
Okay.
So these are the only 3 eligibilities which we have. The scholarship participation starts with the application process, which involves downloading the application form, expressing your reason of intent and your academic details, attesting the form, and then sharing the scanned form along with your proof to an ID, which was scholarship@hsbc.co.in.
Okay. Okay. Great. So next question I have is for Nikki. So Nikki, obviously, we are living in unprecedented times, and I believe, because Vita Student is one of the most established brands in the UK when it comes down to student accommodation. So just wanted to understand that how has been the last year when it comes down to imparting the student experience, as well as, how you'll be ensuring that the social distancing norms would be followed in the, next few months to come.
Thank you. I think the thing to appreciate with Vita Student is that this isn't actually new for us. So I know for a lot of, say, the universities and everyone's sort of prepping, having gone through a period of study being online, everyone's sort of getting prepared now for hopefully a return to some sort of face-to-face from the 17th. But for Vita Student, we've been open and fully operational throughout all of this. So for well over a year now, Vita Student have been taking care of students. We've had about 60% occupancy across our sites. We've got 20 buildings right across the UK. We've had a lot of students that originally weren't living with us who were either in a situation where they had to leave their current accommodation last year because it closed, or because they didn't feel safe in the environment that they were in, and they felt that they were going to get a higher level of comfort and safety from Vita Student. I think we have, I say we've had a year or more experience of this, and we have put in place a number of measures. We have a massive advantage in the first place in that all of our properties are self-contained studios. So students don't have that difficult situation of having to share bathrooms, having to share kitchens. They have that private space, which obviously from a health and safety perspective has been a big advantage. But also for people, if they have needed to isolate, it hasn't been too disruptive because where they've been has made that possible. Vita Student is very much a sort of a fully serviced place to live. So we have breakfast services, which usually students would go down and sort of help themselves to every morning, but have been adapted so that the residence team will deliver breakfast to the students every morning. We've offered complimentary quarantine packages to students who have travelled from overseas and have needed needed that service. So we've had to say delivery services available. We have all kinds of events, which again, Vita Student in the normal world has a daily event schedule, which usually would be very hands-on, very, very sociable. We have huge lounge areas, games areas, cinema rooms in our buildings. And very, very quickly, we adapted that event schedule so that students would still have daily interaction opportunities, but it was all virtual. So for example, we had the cooking classes were incredibly popular. So we had virtual cooking classes 2 or 3 times a week. They were always fully booked. The ingredients would get delivered to the door a couple of hours before the event. Equally, we've had sort of Friday night DJ sessions where a student, from their room has been able to sort of join almost like a virtual DJ night. There's been all kinds of things to keep students occupied and stimulated and having less of a feeling of isolation. On a more sort of serious note, we have our own Chief Welfare Officer who is employed by Vita Student, who's worked for Public Health England. She's worked for the government for many, many years, 35 years worth of experience, and she is actually advising us continuously on what needs to be done in terms of sort of well-being, but also in terms of health and safety. Social distancing wise, I know you asked specifically about that. So all of the buildings have full signage throughout. We have, it runs almost like a hotel. So we have people on site all the time, ensuring obviously that those restrictions are being adhered to. We have luckily now been able to open out our social spaces following the sort of slight relaxation. We have glass screens still in place, but it does mean that students are now being able to sort of interact at a distance. You know, if they don't want to study necessarily in their room alone, you know, they can study in a larger spaced out group. So there's a number of measures that I say we're fortunate because we're sort of, I think, a year or more sort of ahead of some people in trying to understand what needs to be done to keep people safe.
Great. Thank you so much, Nikki, for answering that question. So I would like to thank our panelists, because I can see that even in the background they are answering the questions of the various students that we have. So thank you so much for doing that. And guys, we'll have a proper Q&A session towards the end of the panel discussion. So if there's a really important question, you can hold it for that time. So next question is for Mayank. So Mayank, I believe you studied at the University of Southampton. So being a UK alumni, I would request you to share your experience. I believe you stayed in a private apartment, and what exactly would you advise to the students who are moving to the UK in the next 4 or 5 months?
Yeah, sure, man. So my experience, I would highlight exactly the opposite what Nikki has just given a brief. So it was more of a challenging, or I would say not a very good experience that I had living in a private apartment. There were a couple of reasons for that. First, traveling first time from India to UK, not aware about where should I look out for an apartment, which area is safer, and met with few of the acquaintances and just made few friends, and look out for searching the apartment, just on the go. So it was an immediate need for everyone, and decided to rent an apartment. And the first 2 weeks were like really nice. Everybody acted nicely, but then the real challenge start. The blame game start. You didn't do the dishes, you didn't pay the bills, and when your focuses needs to be with having an orientation at the university, learning new things at what the university is curriculum is, and adapting to the culture. You are fighting in your own apartments with flatmates. So my advice and my experience would, and that is one of the reasons why we built a platform where we can give and help student to choose the right option before they arrive to a new country. And initially people think that and it seems also that apartments may be pretty economical, but during my 1 year of stay, I switched thrice my apartment. So lose of time, loss of time, lose security deposits, and lot of hassle. And apart from that, um, um, the safety and security is also one of the prime reasons that what we should, as an international student, should think and choose the right location and the facilities that where you want to stay. So in my experience, would recommend to for students to stay in uni halls or student halls or student accommodation, because there, at least especially in this times where in COVID times there are it can be an emergency to any student. So there's at least a facility to take care. There are people to take care. And the another very important point is, as an international student, we all are traveling to have a really good network. We want to understand different cultures. Living in a private apartment, you're just living with 3, 4, 5 people. You will not get that exposure. And then I would say, then rather not go to UK or any other place, just stay in India as well, and you can do your studies. So it is very, very important to have an exposure with with different nationalities and students, and that a student can get in the student accommodations or uniform.
Okay. Yeah, very well answered, Mike. So, Delia, I know we have addressed this question in the past, but just in case if you would want to highlight something more about the same. So, at this point in time, like Donna earlier mentioned, so India has been put under the red list. So, some sort of travel ban is there. So, if you can possibly let us know more about the same.
Yeah, certainly. And this was obviously only introduced a little while ago due to the spike in India, so that India is currently on the red list. And that means that anybody coming into the UK from a country on the red list, such as India, will have to go into managed hotel quarantine for 10 days. And that has to be booked before you leave home, and you will be escorted there from the airport, and you have to pay for that. And that payment includes the accommodation, it includes testing, it includes food, but it is quite a large amount of money. It's £1,700 at the moment. But the universities are working. The UK recognises that that's a challenge for international students. And I think it's been part of everything that the UK has done in the last year is to try and respond to the needs of international students. So the universities are working with the government, as Donna said, to recognise the fact that the universities have the infrastructure and have the systems in place to maybe provide students with quarantine that is at the university rather than going into this hotel quarantine that's currently set up. So that is something that's being worked on at the moment, and universities are looking at ways in which they can help students and support them to deal with that unexpected requirement. So I think the important thing to get across is that the UK is welcoming and is really trying to work hard to make sure that international students get the best services possible. The other thing that I think students sometimes get confused about with the red list rule is, does my student visa come within that category? Because you're only even allowed to come to the UK if you've got certain categories. So if you're a British national or an Irish national, or you have a residence permit. Now, I was talking to UKVI last week, and they confirmed that your student vignette counts as that. So you are able to come to the UK if you have that. But you will have to do the hotel quarantine at the moment. But we are looking at ways in which that can be maybe addressed and made slightly more flexible. But at the end of the day, the UK is very committed to safety of everybody. So, you know, that's why it's been put in place, and it will be there while it's needed. But we are all looking to try and make sure that that students are able to come and are able to be safe in the UK, and as Mayank said, enjoy their studies and concentrate on getting their qualifications. So that's a little bit more about the red list.
I think this clarity was very much needed, because I believe, you know, whenever we read about such a travel ban per se, or the word red comes into any conversation, it does create some sort of panic.
It's always
yeah, certainly. So Donna, the next question is for you. So students, they do want industrial experience in terms of a placement year. So just wanted to understand your thoughts on the same, and does University of Southampton offer a placement year to the students?
Yeah, I mean, for our UG students, all of our courses, apart from probably medicine and a couple of others, have the option to either do a year in industry or an industrial placement, which is a paid industrial placement. Alongside that, there are 2 to 12-week summer placements and Easter placements as part of the undergraduates. Now, for postgraduate students, this becomes, because of the system in India where students are placed, it becomes very important. It's run in a different way. They are all generally competitive, and students, they are not guaranteed. So even if we have placements as part of our courses, they're not integrated. There may be a 3 months as part of your dissertation in the 3rd semester, but you can apply for them. And there are a range of these placements for students to try and get experience within their sector. So I think that they are important, but using the career centres developing your soft skills, understanding the job application process is really important.
Okay.
Because you need to get as much knowledge about this, which you can do before you even leave India, in order that it's a sort of a skill. Basically, if you've got your masters here and you've got your job application skills, and they're equally as important. And knowing that system will give you a better chance of getting a job. If you have work experience, then sometimes placements aren't required. You can go straight into a job. And often I would advise students who've got work experience to look at that route.
Great, good to hear that, Donna. So, Ms. Dolan, next question is for you. So, I think apart from New York, or let's say barring New York, London is one of the most cosmopolitan cities across the globe. So, do you think studying in London and studying at KCL, do the students have a advantage, while studying at any other city? And does London play an important role when it comes down to the employability?
Yes, Aman, I think as an international student in a foreign country, it is really important to be as close as possible to all the important resources that one needs. It could be academic resources, for example, access to off-campus academic resources, libraries, and so on, or access to all kinds of career opportunities, networking events of the city, to internships, to part-time, full-time jobs. And where King's is concerned, it is located right in the heart of London. It is considered to be the most centrally located university in London. And it is, I feel, it's King's location is a huge attraction. I'm really tempted to say that it is one of the best located universities in the world. Because at King's, all the resources are right at its doorstep. So because of the location, the students tend to feel that the city is their campus. So London, of course, is an amazing city. It is UK's hub for everything, really. It has such wonderful clusters of excellence in business and life sciences, creativity, artificial intelligence, and various others. And it has also been voted the best student city in the world, not once but twice, which obviously means that it is a student-friendly city with loads of resources. Also, very important aspect is that it's a multicultural city. You get the chance to meet and make friends with people from all over the world. This really expands, the students' horizons. They don't realize it when they are in India. Once they are there, they understand the worth of, interacting with people from all over the world, because all of this actually very positively affects employability. Well, London is very well connected. It's just, I guess, a little more than 20 miles from France. It has some unique geographical advantages. And one amazing stat that I came across, which I'm just wanting to share with all of you, that, where entrepreneurs in the world are concerned, 25% of them know at least 2 other entrepreneurs in London. So London is like a meeting place. And it's a digital city, very digitally advanced. People are always, technically literate and very active. And there are more international headquarters than anywhere in Europe, in London. So obviously it's great for employment opportunities. And you're right in saying that, New York is one center for, financial capital of the world, and the other capital would be London. And so therefore, these are the 2 best places in the world to raise capital. Hence, you will find loads of venture capitalists here, and therefore lots of opportunities for businesses to grow. Well, if I can just go on, it is also a center for talent. So there are more top universities than any other city in the world. So there's a real intellectual buzz in the city as well. And of course, the post-study work has made a huge difference. The employers can now much more easily employ international students. London is a talent-hungry city. I'm sure all the clever, ambitious people will definitely find work in London. And there are some key areas of growth in London. So technology is a key area of growth. You know, if you are doing anything in fintech or blockchain, AI, cybersecurity, there are loads and loads of opportunities. And London is big on creativity. So fashion, fine art, music. It is a very important part of London's economy as well.
Yeah.
So lots of opportunities there. Life sciences is a very big key growth, key area of employability and opportunities. So the health technology or the med tech or biomedical or pharmaceutical. So all these industries, there's a big need for skills there. So students who are studying these can definitely look out for opportunities. Then a lot of focus is on clean technology or sustainability. So these are the areas where there are lots of openings in London. And there are opportunities essentially everywhere. However, let's say if we talk of services, there are lots of roles available in services like law, accountancy, or management consultancy, data science. I mean, there's so much going on there. And there's an infrastructure boom as well with engineering. If you're studying engineering or architecture, lots of opportunities. And King's is a great advantage because you're in central London and you can make the most of London's opportunities. You're at the doorstep of business. And you get to, because of the culture of King's, you know, we have lots of eminent people, speakers from all sectors of businesses coming to King's and giving, lectures, speaking and talking. So you get that exposure as well.
Okay. Good to hear that, Ms. Dole. So, Ms. Jaspreet, next question is for you. So, obviously, the pandemic has had, impact on all the facets of the society, and universities are no exception. So, just wanted to understand that, how the upcoming intake students would be affected, considering the present situation. Like, how has been the experience last year when it comes down to the hybrid model, and what are the plans for the upcoming intake?
Well, I think pandemic has changed our lifestyle throughout the world. And it will not change anyway different in the coming time for sure. We do have to understand mask is going to be a part of our fashion now. How we go ahead with it. It is not going to go off anytime sooner. Social distancing is going to be something which we all will have to understand, because we are already talking about third, fourth, and I don't know how many waves that are planning to come back to even our own country, forget the other part of the world. So yes, it will have impact as an overall teaching part of it. But having said that, like all my other colleagues have already mentioned, that it is not something that we are all looking forward for online delivery of the programs, because that's something academics are not really very keen on. They prefer the face-to-face delivery. However, we will have to take into consideration the situation at that point of time and the government guidelines that are given out to understand how do we deliver the programs come September. If it was, if we were to take by how the academics would want to do it, every time I speak to any academic, and I'm sure Delia would agree with me because she's been into the academia as well, is can't feel the nerve or the pulse of the students on the online delivery. You do need to have that face-to-face interaction with them. So it is something which they would love to do, and we would love to give to the students, because that's all about experience. When you're going outside, it's all about the experience that you're looking forward for. But how, what, where, when, things, it's still 4 months to go for September. And I think for us, things changed in 4 days in India. 4 months is still a very, very long time to come. Certainly. So we will have to wait and watch and see how we go forward. with this. But masking and social distancing, it's not going away anywhere sooner.
Yeah, definitely. I would completely agree to that. So extending the same question to Nikki. So Nikki, obviously, like we all know how the pandemic has affected all our lives. So I believe a lot of students at various properties owned by Vita were still present in the UK, right? I'm sure that few of them might have flown back to their respective countries, but a lot of them might have still stayed back. And even at this point in time, they would be in their respective accommodations. So just wanted to understand that at this point in time, obviously it is very important for the key stakeholders to address that there can be mental health concerns pertaining to the well-being of the students. So just wanted to understand what are the initiatives that are being taken by you and your team in order to make sure that these concerns are being addressed.
Thanks, Aman. So there's a number of things that I mentioned already. The event schedule, which has always been a very important part of Vita Students' offering, but certainly during the this lockdown period that people have just come out of, actually having knowing that you're going to be able to connect with other people. Even it's from your studio, it's from the four walls that you've been in sort of all day, but just to be able to have that sort of stimulation and that interaction is one thing. And actually going forward, we'll continue to have a mixture of face-to-face and virtual events. So that's something actually that will continue going forward. We have free bikes, we have on-site gyms, we have personal trainers. So in terms of sort of physical exercise and using that to sort of support your mental well-being, that's been a big priority. The bikes have been, since people have been allowed to sort of go slightly further afield and meet with a small number of people, that's been a great way to actually get out, get a bit of exercise, socialise at a safe distance. And again, the bikes that have always been part of Vita Student, but in the last couple of months, they've become so much more important to people. We have our own sort of in-house wellbeing program whereby all of the staff, all of the Vita Student buildings have Vita Student employed staff in them. So we don't employ anyone externally to manage the reception desk or perform maintenance tasks or anything. All of the in-house teams are trained on sort of spotting the early signs of a student struggling and ways to sort of intervene and to help. We have a number of charities that are supporting us as well. Platforms that are offering services directly to our students, but also to our staff, to advise the staff on how to support students. One of the big things we have done, and we implemented this very, very early on, probably March last year, is wellbeing checks. So as I said, all of our apartments typically are studios, which has been brilliant because students can feel comfortable and safe and they're not having to share anything. But at the same time, we need to know that they're okay behind that door. So every week, the teams in all of the buildings have done welfare checks. So they've knocked on the door, they've had a chat with the student, they've just tried to assess, what's going on, if there isn't any support needed. And we also have the Vita Student App, which again, the app has always been part of Vita Student. It's been used for things like booking the cinema room or reporting a maintenance issue, but it does have a huge social function as well. So not only can you use the Vita Student app, which everybody is signed up to, it's a must as a student. You can not only see the events and things and sort of book in to take part in those events, but you can actually sort of network with other students in your building as well. So it has a chat function. That app has been brilliant and in terms of keeping students connected and engaged.
Great. So good to hear that, Nikki. And I believe it's the need of our, right? So at unprecedented situations like this, it's very important to make sure that we're keeping each other's back. So next question is for Vatsal. Vatsal, just wanted to understand whether there's a team in place at the University of Essex who looks after student enterprise and employability?
Oh, yes, of course. At Essex, we have something called the Careers and Employability Center. And they start helping the students from the first day they join on to 3 years after they've graduated. So free of cost. So that's extremely handy because not as a student, but also as an alum, you get the services of the Career Center. And these are run by professional people. This is not a student-run body. They organize career fairs and seminars wherein companies may visit the campus. And as a student, it will be up to you to attend these sessions, meet with the companies, network accordingly. And even for that, they will hold smaller sessions and workshops on teaching students on how to network, how to build a strong CV, how to prepare for interviews. Even something as trivial, perhaps maybe, it may sound trivial, but they also hold sessions on how to make a strong LinkedIn profile, right? So everything from scratch, all to a broad level university wide career fair where about 70 to 80 companies come onto the campus. There's a lot of help and support available for students. And in terms of being enterprising, and like Dolan also mentioned, that how London really is a hub for entrepreneurs. At Essex, we also have really good courses in entrepreneurship, and we have our own incubation and startup center on campus. So as a student, if you are looking to start your own business, if you are in the need to contact some investors, if you are in the need for a co-working space, you can actually find that from our campus itself. We have tie-ups with bodies like Slovak Startup, etc. And that really helps you to start your own business. So all in all, if students are looking for jobs, or even if they're looking at starting their own businesses, there is tremendous amount of help and support available at Essex.
Great. Good to know that, Vatsal. So next question is for Amit. Amit, are you there?
Yes, sir.
So Amit, just wanted to understand with the present situation, right? First of all, is it possible for a student traveling from, let's say, India to the UK to open a UK-based bank account before even reaching the UK?
Yes, it's possible.
Okay. So
I'll just try and give you a thing. The banking in the UK as a foreign student is usually a mandatory requirement.
Yeah.
And there's a good amount of choice to select their banks from. But unlike India, where bankers go to customers to meet them, in UK and any other country, the customers need to take a prior appointment and come to the branches, right? But during COVID, this has been quite a big challenge for all international students for getting their accounts open in the UK, because all the banks are so busy trying to service their existing customers that the appointments for any banking needs, they've been getting the appointments, I think, in 2 to 3 months to go and meet up with the bankers to get their accounts open, which makes it life very miserable for them. And they need this thing very, very urgently because everything is linked to the bank account. So what we have been doing is that we have been trying to ensure that every student basically moving in to the UK from India, we can assist them to get their accounts open before they land there also. So before they land there, they have a local HSBC UK account, which is going to be a student account specifically for them to basically do transactions. And we are the only bank in India who can do that for them. And in fact, we can open accounts anywhere in the globe before the customer reaches that destination. It's because of the regulation that RBI does allow us to do that.
Okay. And what are the features of this particular student account that you have been speaking about?
Well, there are a host of features, right? So first of all, it's an account where balances are not needed. Basically, what happens is that you have to be 18 years and above for basically opting for this. It's something which we offer you without any charges. Basically, we can offer you £1,000 interest-free overdraft to start off with, so that basically you can utilize that funds in case of any emergency. So we are giving you a free overdraft facility of £1,000, which can go up to £3,000 by the third year. We have an online and mobile banking feature which assists you to basically operate the account in the UK and do all your transactions. We can basically also offer a protection against theft and fraud on their cards or their bank account. any suspicious activity is picked up by our systems, helping to protect the customer from any fraudsters. Your card, or even if your card gets lost or stolen, we'll be in a position to basically ensure that we protect your card and ensure that any theft happening on the cards can be reimbursed by the bank. Parents and students can manage worldwide accounts through a single login. So I can assist students and the parent to open account in any corridor they want to. Specifically, since we're talking about UK, I can help a student and a parent open the account in anywhere in UK and Wales. Right. Apart from that, the parents can also log in on a single account and view both the accounts on a single login. So they can even do a fee-free real-time transfer. The transfers are going to be free. The cable wire charges from India to UK would be absolutely free. There'll be no charges. All banks charge you a hefty amount of money on that.
Yeah.
You can do transfers online. Parents will be offered preferential fixed rates. I don't want to quote a price over here, but if any student comes to us through University Living, I can assure you there'll be no other financial institution which will be able to give you a finer rate than what we can offer you. It's just because you're a part of University Living. Right.
Great.
So I will ensure that we will give you the best possible opportunity as well as preposition with banking needs in the UK as well as in India. Right. We can support them with credit cards. We can transfer credit history. We can basically help them for secured lending products in the UK. There'll be no charges for HSBC usage of ATMs across UK. And of course, if they're banking with us in India, we'll also give them an option to use that account anywhere in India without any charges. They can use the entire network. We support them with a 24/7 HSBC International call center. We offer them a remote relationship management. So basically, we'll be a one point contact, or I can say everything needed on the financial bit for a customer, for a student or a parent. Could be anything and everything will be something which we'll be able to offer them in India as well as in the UK. And the best part is that we'll be able to do that everything for them before they even leave the country.
So I think that's a good value proposition, because I believe a lot of students who are getting themselves admitted to undergraduate courses in the UK, their parents do accompany them to the UK once they start their life there. So it makes sense if they have if they already have a bank account there. So yeah, I can understand the value proposition.
Basically, Indian parents are very, very protective of their child. Even if they are going as a postgraduate, they would want to keep a track of them, right? They basically having enough money? So we can help both the parent and the student. The best part is that we can assist them in their entire financial journey.
Yeah, good to know that, Amit. So my next question is for you. So I can understand that a lot of the students, they do have a slight inclination towards working part-time in the UK. So if you can possibly run us through the same, possibly let us know a few part-time job opportunities that you've come across while you were studying in the UK.
Sure, Aman. So I would 100% agree on Vatsal, the information that about every university in UK have the placement or a career cell or a department, which is really helpful. So my advice for the students would be that always be in connect with the university careers and placement department, because I got my part-time job from the help of the placement cell. And they give all the right information, where to search, what all opportunities are there in that in that particular area or in that region, where as a student you from day one they start preparing you. So it's completely on a student that how eager that they are to get a part-time job. Nothing comes on a platter. And the few things that a student need to keep in mind is, the moment they arrive in UK, they have to register for a national insurance number, because without that nobody gives a not even the part-time job, because everything is being dealt with the national insurance number. And there are various portals, there are various now I would say centers where students in my batch, if I want to tell my experience. So there were many people who worked in a back-end data entry job. There are many people who worked in some restaurants as well. There are many people who went worked in some live events, or um, even in supermarkets, etc. So job opportunities are always there for a student, and every student, in my personal opinion, that they should apply and take the exposure, that how the culture and the processes are. So this is what my advice would be.
Great. So just last three questions, guys, and after that we can move on to the Q&A session. I can see there are more than 40-50 questions already lined up. I think few of them have already been answered by our panelists. So yeah, we'll take up the questions in another 5 to 10 minutes. So my next question is that, obviously university living being a student housing marketplace, they do help the students with respect to their accommodation. So if you can elaborate on the same and help the audience understand that what, apart from accommodation, university living can help with.
Sure. So as being a marketplace for an accommodation, our goal and objective is that how and what all options we can provide to a student, being a neutral platform. We want to ensure whatever we are recommending, it's up to high standards. It's being verified. So these whatever the option student you find on our website is being curated. It's being verified by our team, by ourselves. So we want to ensure whatever we are recommending is being managed by a professional entity, so that your experience doesn't go for a toss. Your journey becomes more smoother. So now, as an organization, we are more focused towards how we can enhance the entire journey till the time student checks into the property, and even after staying in that property. So right from adding the services like educational loan, then once you get an education loan, you get an admission in the university. You need to pay a tuition fee in advance to get a cash letter. So there is a lot of we have partnered with the remittance providers who get the best of the rates, like just Amit just mentioned about how better convenience. It's what we are trying to focus on. And uh, after remittance, it's travel insurance. Every student needs that travel insurance to ensure that they are reaching safely, and if there's something happen, there's somebody who can take care. Then followed by international SIM cards, then forex card, and then once you get the visa, you book a flight tickets. Then we have an airport pickup service where we ensure that you reach safely to the accommodation, and followed by the room essentials, which includes the bedding pack and a kitchen pack. So just want to highlight and add that in most of the accommodation, you need to carry your own bedding pack or a kitchen pack. So it's because of hygiene factors. Every person comes from a different nationality. So these student accommodation provide all the basic amenities and facilities, but you need to carry certain things, and which we are ensuring and want to ensure that these comes very handy and convenient to have a smooth journey throughout your university experience.
Great. Good to know that, man. So, Nikki, just wanted to ask you one last question before we move on to the Q&A session. So, obviously, there are a lot of students who inquire about student accommodations via university living directly at Vita Students. So, just wanted to understand that, let's say, if there's a student who booked an accommodation at one of your properties, and then due to some reason or the other, the arrival has to be delayed, right? It may be due to a travel ban or due to any legitimate reason. So how does the dynamics change in that scenario wherein the students has already paid the deposit amount?
Yeah, it's a really relevant question. I think that it's something that students are asking us fairly regularly, and rightly so. So I think Jaspreet made a very good point, which is that universities are desperate to get students back and face-to-face or on campus and in an academic environment, and equally students are as keen to get themselves in that mode. So I think, you know, first and foremost, it's important to appreciate that everybody's doing everything that they can to try and get people back in time. You know, some people are already back at university. We've done a huge amount of short-term let bookings over the last 2 months for people who just want to get back into a more academic environment. But September is the big question for sure. Our current policy for September booking has the normal policy, which we offer on all of our bookings, which is that if a student doesn't get their visa, they are able to get a full refund on anything paid and obviously no further liability. The same applies to university places. So if a student doesn't get their place and they don't get the grades, that again, they are able to cancel, full refund, etc. And the other two more relevant policies that have been implemented for this year relate to travel bans. Either, you know, it's very unlikely given that they haven't done it previously, but should the UK close its borders, for example, or there are travel restrictions from the country that student is traveling from, that we will push back that date. We're basically saying to people that, you know, you should be doing everything that you can to get here, because you're going to get the best university experience that you can. If by the 15th of January you have not been able to travel because of, you know, it's something in the UK or it's something from your own countryside, that we will cancel that contract and we'll offer you the full refund. Same applies to a scenario where, for whatever reason, the university course has not gone ahead or has been on hold. And again, we're offering a full refund from basically if a course is delayed past the 15th of January or cancelled, the same situation, a student can then exit that contract. But as I say, I think, you know, the reality of the situation is that in some forum or another, students will very, very likely be able to get to the UK. It may be that some of their study is online still, but, you know, even so, it's still better to be in a sort of student-centric environment.
So good to hear that, Nikki, because I think, you know, flexibility is something that we can definitely offer to students in these times. So Donna, just one last question to you before we head to the Q&A session. So any last tips for students who are seeing their future in Southampton?
I think any tips if you're seeing your future in the UK, I would always advise students to participate, prepare, because students who are prepared, they do better and they get up to speed quite quickly. And be prepared to go outside your comfort zone. I mean, there are part-time jobs available, but sometimes it's easier to go for the campus jobs because it is a bit scary. And that's the reason you come to the UK. You come to the UK to grow and develop. And unless you go outside your comfort zone, that will happen on the first day you arrive. You'll be in your panic zone, but as you develop and go through your course, please go outside your comfort zone. Apply for the jobs, try things, because it's a really fantastic experience studying abroad. I studied abroad, and it's doing the scary things that will develop you.
Great. So guys, we have tons of questions. I'm sure that, you know, majority of you are already answering the same. So guys, you can definitely ask your questions, and if you have already asked it and it hasn't been answered yet, so you can repost the question so that we can take that up now. So man, there's a question that says, what is the least tenure? I think the student Tushar means the contract when it comes down to getting into a student accommodation.
Right. So Tushar, in UK, the contract are pretty standard. It's 44 weeks or 51 weeks. 44 weeks are usually being taken by somebody who's doing an undergrad. And if a student is doing a postgrad, they opt for 51 weeks contract.
Okay. So Delia, I think the next question can be answered by you. So there's an anonymous candidate who says that because India is, currently under lockdown and testing centers are closed, so will the English language requirements be adjusted or waived off?
I think that's a question for each university because they will make the decision about what they need for their own admissions processes. But what I will say is that UKVI have said that they will be as flexible as possible, and they of course very much rely on the university's academic judgment. So I think the thing to do if you are not sure is talk to a university. They will advise you as to what they need and how they can make sure that evidence is there. But talk to your university and don't just assume that something won't happen.
Yeah,
they will do what they can to help.
Makes sense. And Delia, I believe last time, because we were almost in a similar situation last year as well. So I think Duolingo played an important role. I think a lot of the Irish and English universities did encourage the students to possibly write a Duolingo test. Correct me if I'm wrong.
There are lots of tests available. Universities will be again, you must check that the test that you're going to take is recognized by your university. There is Duolingo, as you said, which came in last year and filled a gap. But IELTS now has an at-home online testing. So does ETS. TOEFL has that, GRE. So there are lots of online tests available that are recognized by universities, and you just need to check with your university which one is right for them.
Vatsal, would you like to add to that?
Like what I just wanted to add there that absolutely, I think all of us have been flexible in UK. Again, just want to reiterate that we has been flexible on our entry requirements and criterias. So at Essex, yes, we do offer exemptions from IELTS examinations, but it's on a case by case basis. It's not something that is a blanket rule across. So probably once you've applied to us, we can look at your profile and we can see the circumstances and then go about providing you an exemption if needed. The other thing I would really like to stress upon is that at Essex, we accept IELTS. Yes, the IELTS indicator variant, TOEFL home-based variant, PTE, which is the Pearson test of English, but we do not accept Duolingo. Yeah, that's one thing that I just wanted to clarify.
Sure. And any of the universities, if they would like to take this up. So there's a question from, again, an anonymous candidate who wants to ask that if he or she makes a career transition to data analytics or data science by joining the concerned course, so is that a possibility because the student doesn't have any experience, working experience in this particular field of data science and data analytics?
Should I answer this? I think most universities will be the same. It depends on their background. So what their mathematics is, what they studied at undergrad, and whether there's some transition, maybe their work experience. I know they say work experience, they don't have that data science aspect, but there are other courses like data and decision analytics that are transitions between the two. And I'm sure other universities have exactly the same similar courses that cross over between analytics and other sectors.
Okay. So Ms. Jaspreet, I think, yeah, sorry. Please go
ahead.
No, please go on.
Right. Just wanted to, put it across that at Essex, we do recognize that there are students who want to study data analytics and data science, but they do not come from that background. So we have a specific conversion masters for them. So we have a program called MSc Applied Data Science for students who do not come from that background. So if let's say a student is there from sociology, right, they can apply for this program as it's a conversion program.
Great. So for all those set of students who are asking Amit about the scholarship, so once we end this webinar, you will automatically receive an email wherein the link to apply for this scholarship would be there. And if you have any other questions for Amit, please feel free to mention the same in the chat box. So I think next question is meant for you, Ms. Jaspreet. So there's a student who says that she holds an offer in MSc Accounting and Finance at QMUL. So is there a possibility that she can change the course to Finance and Investment? And if it is a possibility, then how long will it take to process the request?
Well, it totally depends if her background is what we are looking forward for.
Okay.
So in this, because it's a very specific requirement, I would recommend you to get in touch with us. I will just put in my email ID in the chat box, and we can look at it on a one-to-one basis.
Great. And ma'am, do you offer any course for MSc Pharmaceutical?
We unfortunately don't do pharmaceutical, but more on a pharmacology side of it. So not us, unfortunately, but I think Kings and Southampton does have that options.
No, not Southampton.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
What about Ms. Dolan? Do we have that course at KCL?
Sorry, I was busy answering the questions.
No,
Yes.
so I had a question that is there a provision for offering a course in MSc Pharmaceutical Science at KCL?
We do have a very, very big and very well reputed department in pharmaceuticals and drug discovery, then healthcare technologies. So various related courses are there. If I would, I don't know if I'm able to put up the link in the chat box. So maybe I will put up the link because there are quite a few courses in that area.
You can feel free to do that. So Amit, next question is for you. So does Hsbc provide with a education loan for Indian citizens?
No, as of now, we don't have the features of education loan, but of course we can, reach out and help you, help students up by connecting them to the right partner who can give them a good deal on the education loan. As of now, we still don't have our own product on education loan, but very soon, I think next 3-4 months, we should have something on board.
Sure. So any of the universities can address this. So what are the job opportunities for a postgraduate program of MSc in International Business Management?
Okay, so just sorry if anybody else was answering. So international business actually gives you a wide range of options to look for, as the name would sometimes suggest, or people take in that it is not just about exam policy. There is much more to international business. People do go into project management as well with it. They can go on to even marketing profiles with MNCs on that profile as well. So there are many more options available. It totally depends on what is your focus area when you choose your modules in that particular program.
Okay. Ms. Dolan, there's a question from Karan Singhal that does KCL have a structural engineering course with construction management?
No, I think I answered that question. We don't have specific courses that he's mentioning. We have a course in law related to construction law and dispute resolution.
Okay. So I don't know if I'm able to access those questions which are still yet to be answered or they have been answered. But Donna, just wanted to check with you that there's a question from a student named as Jomin Jacob. And
Cybersecurity.
Yeah, you have already answered that?
Yeah, I've already answered. Yeah, I've sent in my email.
Okay.
Aman, there's a question that I had my eye on, and there are some closely related to them. So
please do that. And feel free to do this because there are tons of questions. And,
yeah. So I'm just looking at some of them which have been repeated. So there's a student who has asked about an hour back about the 1+1 course in data science, or generally one plus one courses, master programs, versus a 1 year master's program, wherein the other +1 year being the placement year. So as Essex offers such courses, probably in terms of comparing or choosing which one is, or understanding which one is better, I think it's really subjective. You need to understand, and I believe a colleague answered in the chat box as well, that it depends on whether you hold any prior experience or not. Please note that these 1+1 year industry placement programs, these are not guaranteed placements. Okay, this is not something that the university will guarantee to you. It will still depend on your performance. It will still depend on how well you've been able to network with companies, how much you've applied actively, and of course how you've performed in your course, right? If you do not have any experience at all, maybe going for a placement year program might be helpful, because you'll get that added 9 months or 12 months of a placement year, just to understand how the job market or the job sector works in the UK vis-a-vis India. In case you have experience, and now especially with the GIR in place where you are getting the 2-year stay back, my opinion would be that you can probably just go for the 1 year masters and then straight away go on to your GIR and start working, instead of going for the 1+1 year program. Anyone else, if they would like to comment here?
Cool. I think very well answered. Delia, I think, because you manage the portfolio of so many universities across the globe, so this is a question I think can be best answered by you. So Mithali here is asking that, does university ranking really matter, or it depends on the student's potential and their specific skill set? Now, I think it's a tricky question to answer. Yeah,
that is a big question. Ranking is one aspect of how you might begin to look at universities and how you might begin to choose. But at the end of the day, I think the important thing, there are many factors that influence how you choose the best university for you. Ranking is an indicator of quality in some ways, but it's not the be all and end all. So it's one way of starting to understand the system. But you have to really look at the course. That's a really important thing. Is it the course that fits for you? You have to look at the environment of the university. You have to look at the cost. These are other things that all sort of come into that mix of finding the best university for you. What I would say is look at rankings, do your research, talk to counsellors, talk to representatives from the university. And it's not a decision you make quickly. It's a really important one. So do your research, do your preparation, talk to alumni at the university, and get as much advice as possible. Rankings are just one element. And also remember, it's not just about the university ranking, it's the subject ranking as well. That's an important element to bring in, because you want to know that you're going to the institution that has a good, a ranking that suits you in terms of the subject that you want to study. So there are various types of ranking you can look at. Indeed, in this day now, we can also have rankings around the impact that the university has on sustainability, for example. That can be important to students to know that you're studying at a university that takes, the future of the planet as part of something that they're really committed to. So lots of different rankings, lots of different things they're measuring. It's only one aspect. Really do your research to make the right choice for you. That would be my advice.
Very, very well answered, Delia. So, Ms. Dolan, I think a lot of students are waiting for King's College results to be communicated. So if you have anything to convey to these students.
Right. Just one point I want to add when Delia was saying about rankings. It's just that what I've noticed in all my years with this sector, Indian students tend to be a little over interested or over obsessed with rankings. Please don't be. It's just one aspect of how you kind of select a university. But however, I've noticed a slight, little change in the way they shortlist universities. They are doing much more research, which is fantastic. So yeah. So your question was on
the results.
The results, yes. Well, King's is taking a bit of time this year. the entire admissions team, I guess this is the scenario in every university. They are working from home, and with King's, every year we get a larger number of applications. The number of spaces more or less remain the same, or they kind of increase, very, very slightly. Therefore, the admissions finds it quite challenging to cope with such volumes of applications. Of course, they are looking at it continuously and assessing them, because the assessment process is also not a short one. It is an elaborate one. Therefore, it takes time. I'm sure students are very impatient, and rightly so. They have been waiting for some time now. I quite sympathize with them. However, we just have to wait. We just have to request students to be a little more patient, and very soon they will hear back.
Certainly. Mayank, next question is for you. I think you can answer it really well. So with respect to accommodation, is there a way to check which location is closest to the university, like a website? So the answer is right there.
Guys, please log on to universityliving.com. We've got all, you can find all listings, properties. We have made filters via university. So you can sort via which is nearest property to your university. And with all price points and amenities listed, you may select, fill the form. Our team will connect, will understand the requirement, and will help you to secure a place.
Great. Nikki, I believe you do have a property in Southampton as well, right?
You actually. Yeah, so we have one building, Richmond House, is right in the centre of the city, and then we have one slightly further out, directly opposite the University of Southampton. Actually, both have been our most popular buildings this year. Nottingham has been extremely popular, so our Nottingham building is already almost 80% booked for September. But both the Southampton buildings are also over 75% booked for September. So yeah, really, really popular.
And I believe even Donna has visited one of the Vita properties, if I'm not wrong, in Southampton.
I visited them all because we, Southampton, since August, we literally meet every student that arrives in the UK from Heathrow Airport, and we've either then transfer them in small buses and then take them to their accommodation, but they've all been dropped off, and Vita Portswood and Vita in Richmond have been places that we drop them off. So I know Vita Portswood because I go to the Sainsbury's, which is next door. Plus, I get asked about where accommodation is located around the city, and so I'm always able to say where it is.
Certainly.
Yeah, I think those buildings offer, they've got a nice differentiator there. You know, for some students, they want to be very close to the university and be able to walk there, and you know, that's their main focus. And Vita Student Portswood is ideal for that. As you said, Donna, there's a massive big supermarket right next door as well, so it's super convenient. And then Richmond House is in the centre of Southampton for the students who want to be able to sort of walk to shops, cafes, restaurants, etc. So both options work well for different students.
And my personal trainer actually does a session sometimes at the gym at Vita Portswood.
They're amazing, those gyms. Yes, I know, they're better than my gym.
Mayank, I think the next question can be answered by you. So what would be the approximate cost of living in London when a student has to consider a private accommodation, a student accommodation, and the utility bills, if you can possibly answer that?
Yes. It completely depends on the university which student is enrolled in. So as London in being majorly divided into zones, and so majority of the universities and properties are from zone 1 till zone 4. So zone 1 is as it's centrally located, where, as Dolan rightly highlighted, it's in heart of London, central London. So anything which is in central London would be slightly on an expensive side. But any student who's looking for accommodation in London can get accommodation from ideally from 180 to, and it can go up to even £500 a week. So it's completely depends on an individual requirement and their need. And a good thing about student accommodations is that all bills are inclusive. So once if whatever the week the rates that's been mentioned, it covers all the cost.
Certainly. So any of these universities can take this up. So before taking this up, just wanted to check. I think we are already 15 minutes past the stipulated time. So if it's fine with you guys, we can answer the questions, or we can answer them at a later stage via email. So just wanted to understand from each and everyone.
I'm really sorry. I think I do have to jump off because I have got another meeting that I'm now late for.
No problem at all, Delia.
It's been a real pleasure. I've really enjoyed it as always, and just good luck to all the students who are listening who are thinking about choosing the UK. I know that it will be a great choice. Okay, thank you. Bye bye now, everyone.
Thank you so much, Delia.
Thank you, Delia.
Bye.
Right, guys. If you guys are comfortable, we can extend this for another 5 to 10 minutes. It's fine with you? Great. Any of the universities can take this up. Can I know the job opportunities after pursuing a course in renewable energy engineering?
Well, I think everyone agreed the renewable sector is one that's growing. And so I think that anyone who does a course like this now, they're setting themselves up for the next 5 to 10 years, whether that's in the UK or globally. Because don't forget, our students that's come to the UK, they don't just stay in the UK. They go to the UAE. I've got students in Germany that from India. I've got students in Austria. I've got students from France. They go all over the world. So, and in Ireland and across to the US. So students do travel. And when you get a degree in the UK, it is a global degree. And it means that you will go in different places.
Okay. A lot of students are asking about the various job opportunities after pursuing construction management. So if any of you can highlight the same.
HS2, which is a massive transportation project in the north and Birmingham to London. That is requiring a lot of TPE engineers and also construction workers. There's also, in the other thing, you've got to understand that 1 million people, workers, have left the UK for over the last year or so. So a lot of the construction sector is growing. And there are potentially a lot of work available. So there, the other thing on part-time jobs, I noticed people asking about part-time jobs. People left the hospitality sector. They've moved into other jobs who worked in tourism and in the service sector. So we're finding that, like, you can't get baristas. You can't get people in the restaurants because they've left. They were furloughed and now they've left. So there are a lot of, I'm seeing more and more jobs all the time. And you are on my student WhatsApp group. So you see that I post jobs that are coming up, agencies that are looking for work, looking for students. There are, it's quite a good time. And I'm sure in London and Essex, there are just as many jobs being created.
Okay.
I just wanted, I just saw a couple of points slightly different in terms of the course queries so far. I saw a couple of questions surrounding sports, and I think my colleagues would also probably want to address it. So yes, at Essex, we have programs in sports. We have a sports and exercise science school. So from sports psychology to sports therapy and sports and performance coaching, you will find a lot of different courses at Essex. And again, the application process and everything, you can find that out on the website or probably contact us through our emails. And yeah, there are several opportunities available in the UK. it's good that we have a similar sporting culture as well. I mean, cricket being one of the great common games that's there. And at Essex, we have teams for cricket, for volleyball, for basketball, tennis, and many, many more. If anyone would like to add to that.
Yeah, I mean, I think sports is something which is really big at King's. We have produced, world champions and Olympic medalists. So we have a sport infrastructure in place,
Okay.
So if you're a high achieving athlete, then there are specific kind of, departments which will help you help you with your academics, as while you are training for the world championships and so on. So we take sports really, really seriously. And the good thing is that there are lots of cricket lovers in India. So you'll be happy to know that our cricket team, they practice at the Oval and at the Lords. So I've still not done a Lords tour, and I'm just waiting for that day, because I'm also a big cricket fan. But yeah, so so we kind of try to access the best sporting facilities that are there for our students. There are more than 70 sports clubs at King's, and I'm sure, UK universities are really big on sports. So whichever university you go to, you will see that there are loads of opportunities for them.
Even for that matter, ma'am, I think a lot of students are huge football fans as well. And I don't know whether, for example, I'm a Liverpool fan. So let's say if I have to pursue any course in the years to come from the UK, so obviously, I would consider moving to Liverpool over other cities. I don't know if that is a generic question that you guys do get in your day-to-day life, but location does matter. And I believe, considering how strong football is in almost every popular city in the UK, I think this particular area of interest do factor in.
I think I will possibly ask Vatsal to answer, but UK is a football crazy nation. They are obsessed with football, and they play it at a very high level. The university sport teams football teams are also, it's not easy to kind of, you need to be really good in football to be able to play at that level. So it's great to be following the game and be, actively playing the game, but you also need to understand that the kind of quality that we are looking at if you want to kind of participate at the levels that matter.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Aman, I think I just want to add a very funny note. I won't say funny, but it is actually a very interesting note from one of our alumni. I was having a conversation with, and again, a football fan. So he mentioned that he actually got a job in the football stadium to only watch the football season in free and earn money along with it. So that was, that's the kind of experience that you can get as well. So you don't have to pay £60 to get a ticket to go and watch a match, but you could work in, let's say, like West Ham Stadium is now in the East End side of it. So you can work there and get to watch the match in free as well. So yeah, that's also possible.
And it's not only the students. Our Vice Dean of Life Sciences, she's a sports crazy person and loves cricket the most. She volunteers possibly in every match that England plays. And she was a volunteer in Olympics as well, in the 2012 Olympics. So she got to, share the stage with the VIPs, and she was managing all that. So, you can do so many things, different kinds of things, not just possibly play, but, be attached to the game in different ways.
So there's this one question, and I think Ms. Jaspreet, you can take this up. So this is regarding the job opportunities for the accounting and finance graduates.
Right. So there is two different portions to look at it now when you're looking at accounting and finance, whether you are looking forward for going into the accounting side of it, then you can pursue the SEAM or the ACCA route, because at least for us, we do have options for credits towards those examinations. But if you're looking for a finance part of it, you can also work in many sectors, whether you're looking at only in the financial sector or working in organizations and like banks part of it in that zone. Or if you want to go in for the CFA route thereafter, you could go for that route as well. So the options, when you do these combinations, your opportunities increase manyfold in that zone. So it totally depends which one is your first criteria to go forward for.
Sure. I think we have answered majority of the questions. Right? If I think around 70 odd students are still there. So if you have any more questions left for our panelists to answer, please feel free to do that. Otherwise, if there are unanswered questions left, what I can do is I can possibly share the email IDs of our panelists and you can directly reach out to them. And if there's any more concerns, you can let us know. Yeah, so Vatsal has shared his email ID. Ms. Jaspreet, I think even you have shared your email ID. If possible, please, I would request you to do that again, because I think I came across a couple of students asking for the same. Ms. Donna and Dolan, if you can also do the same.
I had shared that earlier. I'll just reshare it now.
Sure. So, guys, again, there's a question pertaining to the Russell group. Okay, so just wanted to understand a bit more about the Russell group, and does it actually matter if the particular university is not in the Russell group? So obviously, a lot of parameters go into reckoning once the university needs to be decided. So Russell Group University and non-Russell Group University, how does that pan out?
So I think the Russell Group is just a group of universities that are known for a more research intensive. And so although they have that link with eliteness, it doesn't mean that they are the best universities. There are many other universities, including University of Essex here, that have lots of different courses and are also actively working in research. It's just it's a bit like the IITs and the IIMs. They're known for a specific area, and they've just grown over the years. I think that, if I was going to do animation there, I would not go to a Russell Group, for example.
Okay. So Donna, I actually like how you bring out these analogies and compare it with how the situation is in the UK versus in India. I think that becomes quite relatable to the students.
Well, you see, the last year I spent on WhatsApp talking to students.
I can understand. Yeah.
And, Indian students just have lots of questions. And as representatives, I'm sure we're all the same. We answer those questions endlessly. And the thing is, I understand it. I studied abroad. And when you go abroad, there's lots of questions. And then with Corona, you add a pandemic in there and all the economic unrest, you're going to have loads and loads of questions. Loads. Certainly. So all of us, our representatives, are here to answer your questions, whatever they may be.
So Mayank, if you can possibly answer this one particular question, that what should be the correct time to book a off-campus student accommodation, considering the situation at this point in time?
I think very, very good question and very appropriate at this point of time. So we've been helping so many students on a daily basis, and most of the properties are 60 to 70% booked already. So the sooner you take a decision, the better option that a student will get to choose from. They'll get a better price. So in UK, it's work very dynamic pricing the way this industry is. The sooner you'll reach towards the session and the properties are getting sold out, of course you need to pay a little higher price at the later part of the year, and then of course you will have very limited options to choose from. So it is always advisable that book as early you can, because a good thing about all these accommodation providers is everybody have a flexible cancellation policies. If there is uncertainty, if there is due to any reason, if visa is rejected or there's some travel bans, everybody is being flexible, have come up with a free cancellation policy, and they'll refund even your booking deposits. So it's nothing to lose. It's the actually a student is gaining booking it early, because if you're booking it very late, probably you might be booking an expensive room, or that room which is not probably of your choice.
If I could just add to what Mike said there as well, I think, of any year ever, this is the year to think carefully about making the right choice, sort of where you're going to live. And I think Mike is right. The best accommodation is going to get booked up. So if you leave it, you will always find something if you leave it till late on. But sometimes it means you're going to spend a lot more than you want to spend. But more importantly, this year, you're going to end up being somewhere that has been left to the end for a reason. It might mean having to share with 5 or 6 or 7 other people, your kitchen, perhaps even your bathroom. So I couldn't agree with Mike more. I think whatever your budget and whatever your accommodation preferences are, this is the year to really make that choice and make sure that you're finding somewhere now rather than leaving it till later on in the year.
Perfect. Great. I think we've had a very, very productive session. The fact that, we are already 30 minutes past our stipulated time says a lot. We still have around 60 students online with us.
Yes.
So, thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. I believe now with the confidence that each of the stakeholder who was or still here is on the panel have infused in the student community, everybody would agree up to an extent that UK is still one of the most sought after destinations for higher studies. So guys, thank you so much for joining in. I hope everyone remains safe and we do come across as winners once this pandemic ends. So anyone, if you would like to possibly sum up the entire session or have any parting note, please feel free to do that, and then we can possibly end the session.
Thank you so much, Aman, and thank you everyone here. I probably just seeing a little bit of repetition on questions around the pandemic, etc. My only I think final comment to all the students is, calm down. The university and all of us, we recognize that there is a pandemic at place, and we are all doing whatever we can to make the process extremely smooth for you. So I think the first step for all of you is to apply, and then you will be connected to us or our team in the UK who will answer all your questions surrounding the pandemic and other policies. Apply, because the time for this year, October intake is, there's not too much time left. So perhaps, a lot of us probably have no to very little amount of application fees. So you will not be in a position to lose anything. So just take a deep breath, apply, and then everything else will take care of itself.
Thanks, Watson. Ms. Jaspreet, any part? Sorry, please go on.
Sorry, I just want to give you some live feedback. I'm getting a message from one of my students on WhatsApp saying that it has been such an informative session, and I can read messages as well that it has been a great session. They're so very helpful. So thank you, Aman, for actually organizing this and bringing us all together. We have discussed so many things. I mean, very well-rounded.
It's been 2 hours.
Kind of discussion. Exactly.
It's almost the length of a Hollywood movie.
And let me just assure all the students who are who have asked several questions on jobs and careers. Well, please note that there are jobs and opportunities for everyone. Okay, you just have to be smart. You have to be clever and a bit ambitious and dynamic to get those jobs, right? Like if you remember what I had mentioned, that there are so many areas that UK is looking out for skilled persons, from technology to life sciences to law, services, and so on. So don't worry, there are opportunities for everyone, and just work towards it. Utilize all the resources and make the most of it. Thank you so much.
So, Ms. Jaspreet, I would like to especially thank you for being on the panel. I know that you're still recovering from COVID, and I hope you get better at the earliest. So, any parting words before we sign off?
Thank you so much, Aman. Yeah, it's a toll which I hope nobody has to go through ever. But unfortunately, every second person that I'm talking to has somebody or the other in the family going through this. Well, thank you so much, Aman and Mayank, for organizing this. This has been a very, very informative session, I would say, for not only for the students, for us as well. We have learned on the go with all the queries. We always learn from the students, to be honest. That's what I think for last so many years, 20 odd years that I've been here, I've always been learning from the students as we go forward with it. And I think I'm just going to echo what Vatsal mentioned. Yes, it is a very difficult time. Everybody wants answers. I really wish someone had that magic ball who could just give you that answer to say, when will this end?
Yeah.
I wish that was there somewhere, but we don't know. India unfortunately got into the situation where we are in like matter of days, not even months and weeks. So do not panic immediately. Just take a deep breath. It will fall into place. Have faith and it will fall into place. If we start worrying about instantly, oh my god, it's a red list, oh my god, it's closed now, oh my god, the flights are not going forward, this oh my god has really made life very difficult for everybody to sleep. So
Certainly.
let's just be calm. I know this is a difficult time. We will get through it. And it's not only you and me, it's throughout the world that people are going through this. And we will as a humanity get over this. So relax, stay safe, stay home, do not venture out. I'm not sure how Amit was in the office, but yeah, please let's not get onto that zone at all. Let's just stay home and stay safe. Thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you, Ms. Jaspreet. Donna, any parting words from you?
I'll just echo what Jaspreet said. Look, it's just a series of challenges.
Yeah.
So red list will come up, red list will go. There might be something else, but this is life. And it's just added a little bit of a pandemic. And just stay safe and please, because I don't want to lose any friends.
Thanks, Donna. Any parting words, Nikki, man?
Yeah, just to say thank you very much for organising and for everybody that's attended and participated and for all your great questions. Thank you very much. I hope everyone gets to where they want to go and good luck over the next couple of months. But yeah, thank you very much both for organising.
Great. Mayank?
Thank you, Nikki. No, thank you, everyone. And really thank everyone to take out time, especially all the panelists here. It is really required. Every student is especially in India. It's kind of a panic situation, and these kind of webinars help to give the right information, that encouragement, that what information to look for, how to stay calm, and of course, I'm sure the way in India the things are, it will get better, and we still have 4 months to start a UK session. So I'm sure there's no need to panic at this moment, and things will definitely fall in place. And stay safe, stay in. This is what at the current situation everybody should adapt.
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you all the panelists. It's been an absolute pleasure hosting you. Take care, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Stay
you.
safe.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.